speak a little bit on today, remembering Dwight Clark, the organization, what it means for you personally? Can you speak a little bit today on Dwight Clark, the organization celebrating?
Oh yeah. Team meeting this morning showed a clip of a lot of people talking about Dwight and the catch, and how it kind of changed the organization for us, like making a Super Bowl run, and just an outstanding catch to get the guys to go to the Super Bowl, and then they get the winning.
People have talked about the way you come into camp, the shape you're in, the kind of the tone you're setting. What you discuss your off-season work and what was some of your motivations?
One of my motivations is for sure like losing 2 Super Bowls. We was always there, so in my mind, I'm doing everything possible to be in the best shape, being the best player, being the best version of myself to come back and continue to help this team go on those runs that we know we're capable of.
Is there any you reach a point in your career, like it's been discussed, like when you talked of trading you during the draft, there's uncertainty regarding next year. Is that all part of it too, wanting to make sure everyone knows you're still the same guy?
Trade talk is trade talk. I sat down and talked to Kyle, talked to John, and like I said earlier in the interviews, we put that behind us. That's not a thought in my mind right now, but we just go out here every day, be where our feet are, and just continue to get better as a team.
What do you think of the new kickoff rule, and are you curious to see how it goes?
I'm definitely curious because watching the first preseason game, it was kind of not what I thought. But I mean, that's the first time of seeing it live, and it takes practice to get where you want to be in any aspect of the game. But just watching it, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities, and I feel like a lot of kickoff teams going to put a lot of skilled guys out there that's able to move around people and go out there and make tackles as well. So it teaches on.
Do you think it's suited to your game and your style of running?
For sure. You kind of give the receiving team like a 5-yard cushion to block somebody, and anybody on this team, from all the guys that touch the ball, like you see a crease and you just see how fast we hit it.
Besides just the special teams and what you're doing on offense, you're very active this camp. Are you enjoying this camp?
Oh yeah, camp is.
The second part of the question is it also bittersweet not having VA on the field with you at the same time?
It's kind of weird for sure. I remember last year when we played the Giants. I had went to him. I was like, bro, I never knew how weird it was for you not to be on the field at the same time. And, the time that I was out and he was out there by himself, and it was just like, I kind of see what you feel like, kind of feel awkward with, being with somebody out there for 4 years straight or whatever. But, business is business, and you know how it goes.
I guess on that same note, how much of that, you obviously went through it 2 years ago, how much of that has been distraction, shall I say, and how much of it is, you could tell Brandon anything, I'm sure you still talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like without your fellow comrade?
I still talk to him every day. He in meetings, we still chop it up, and not even about the things that's going on, but just like brother talk, regardless of whatever happens, it's still my guy, I love him to death, what he here, he there, wherever. But man, like I just said, like business is business, and like just going out there, and like I can only control the things that I can control. And so I just go out there and do the best I can at my job.
How much has Deommodore Lenoir improved his game, and how?
Oh man, we was over there chopping it up. I think like probably like 2 practices ago, and Juwan was over there throwing the ball. He was like, "Man, you see, I come play for receiver for real," and like his ball skills has been through the roof. And you know what, you get better as you just go. And the more you see things, the more your instincts get involved. And I think it's the instincts and ball skills is through the roof right now.
Have you noticed a difference with him after working with Brandon Staley so much this offseason?
Like I just said, with time you get better, and I feel like he's making a leap every year.
How much has Juwan improved the last year? It seems like he's having a great game.
I wouldn't even say it's improved, because Juwan has been the most consistent receiver that we have, day in and day out, for his blocking, going out making plays. That's why we call it 3rd and Juwan. But just coming in better shape, ball skills got way better, and every time you see Juwan out there, he's giving everything he got, every route, every play.
If I may ask a personal question, how much do you weigh?
Enough.
Let me try again. Is this the lightest you've been?
Yeah, for sure. The lightest I've been since I entered the league, for sure.
Been said about just everything that you bring, from receiving to running the ball, the backfield, returning. you're like the ultimate weapon. Do you feel that there's any part of your game that you have yet to unleash and maybe we're not ready to see yet that you've been working on?
You know, it's crazy. I really don't know. Actually, I never knew until Kyle put me in a position to do things I haven't never done before. So you never know what he's capable of week in and week out. He got new and different things every week. So, I mean, when you guys see it, I'll see it, you know.
How's Ricky Pearson been in the meeting room, and what have you seen from him on the field?
He's doing pretty good. He got a little shoulder, got a nick. So, you know, it's kind of hard as a rookie, like in and out. And, you know, he came in dealing with the hamstring. But he's been more, like, dialed in on details in the meeting and doing the best he can in the meeting room that, you know, that he's not able to be out there every day. So he's kind of staying on top of everything that he's, you know, that he can.
You notice Renardo Green at all? Does he stand out to you?
Yeah, my locker mate. That's my guy. For sure, like the attitude, his demeanor of, you know, who he are and who he want to be in this league. And I see him every day just take leaps and leaps and leaps. And that's like one thing he talk about every day. He's like, man, I just want to play man to man. I don't like playing zone, but you know, in this league, you can't play man to man every play. But you know, just a funny guy, and it's just like being around him.
Do you ever sit with Purdy and watch film, just one-on-one with him?
Nah. Yeah, for sure. That's Kyle's job, man. Kyle handled the quarterbacks for sure. All right.
Have you had to get any different clothes?
Just a little minor, something to let it relax today. Yeah, nothing major at all.
What does a day like today mean, like where the organization is celebrating Dwight Clark Day?
Yeah, it's a huge day. You know, Dwight Clark means a lot to the 49ers. And, you know, I was blessed and honored to receive the Dwight Clark Award last year and was able to speak to a lot of his former teammates and guys that were around him. And they all speak about just how amazing he was as a person, as a teammate. And, you know, and I think that speaks to who he was. Obviously, we know about the catch, but, you know, I think the impact that he left on everyone that he met and was around is what really mattered.
What do you make of the way Deebo is coming to camp? Sorensen just said initially didn't recognize Deebo. I mean, does this seem like ready to roll Deebo?
Yeah, man, that number change got him looking even slimmer, you know. But I mean, you can tell, man, he took this offseason really serious. This means a lot to him. He's been outstanding through this. I think this has obviously been his best camp in terms of just coming in prepared, ready to go, and just competing every single day, showing his team, showing us, everyone, that he's ready to go, right? And he's setting himself up to have an amazing season. I'm really happy for him and obviously happy for our team because we need him.
Brett, what is the potential of a guy like J.P. Mason? When watching him on the practice field, he just seems like he's just got a ton of talent.
Yeah, JP, man, I've always been a huge fan of his, man. I've always been in his corner, you know, especially the guys who come in undrafted who you're like, you don't really know what to expect of those guys. And, you know, you could tell from day one he came in with a chip on his shoulder just with the way that he ran the football and has played crucial minutes for us in crucial moments in the time that he's been here. And, you know, I had the pleasure of working out with him this offseason. He stayed back here with me and Flanagan Fowles, Curtis Robinson. You know, I made sure to get it out of him as much as I could because I'm like, hey, man, like, it's you know, you've done great things in the past, but, bro, like, you can be so much better and do so much more, you know, and having those conversations with him and just so happy for him and the camp that he's having, right, and kind of taking on that role of, like, toting the ball right now because, you know, he's got a lot of opportunities, so I'm really excited for him going forward.
Does he look about the same as he did before?
Always fast, always quick, you know. No matter what number he's wearing out there, he always seems to be one of the fastest guys on the field. So it's good to have Matt back in the building. Obviously, he knows his way around pretty well. Seems like he hasn't lost a step.
Made his rep as one of the best special teams players in this league. He's having a really good camp at safety and 2 picks today. And I mean, if he steps in there as a starting safety, how good can he be?
Yeah, man, I'm really confident, Gio. I'm really happy with the camp that he's had, man, and I'm excited and happy for him, you know, because this is a moment in an opportunity that he's wanted for a long time, man, and he's shown up in a big way from OTAs going into training camp this year, man. He's, like you mentioned, he's had a great camp, been around the ball a ton. He's already a physical, dynamic player for us on special teams, but to add that to our defense would be major for us.
Defense is always kind of been the cornerstone of this team, especially in your duration of being here. Now is, I guess, one of the veterans, I guess if I can say that. You're still young, but one of the, what have you seen from this particular group this year, and why, what gives you optimism or confidence with this group heading into preseason?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of different moving pieces right now. You talk about, obviously, a new defensive coordinator, a lot of new guys who are joining the roster on the defensive side, a lot of young talent. Obviously still a lot of the same, guys who have been here and played for us at a high level. But, putting that all together, I feel like it's just a hungry and motivated group, man, to go out and dominate. I think Nick has done an amazing job as our leader, man, of just instilling like the speed, violence, and finish of what we expect and what the standard is as a defense. And you don't stray from that. You don't waver from what the standard is just because you have a bad day or you have a bad rep. Like the standard is the standard, right? And it doesn't matter who's in there. I love the depth of the group. I love everything, man. I think we're heading in the right direction right now. You take it one day at a time. It's not a finished product by any means, but we're heading in the right direction.
Behind a lot of defensive front fours. You have a couple new guys there this year with Malik Collins and Leonard Floyd, with Hargrave and Nick. Is there a certain dynamic that's starting to emerge, I guess, that you can identify that's different?
Yeah, man. I mean, every year is different. I think this group is different as well. This might be the quietest defensive front because all four of those guys are very humble, chill guys, off the field. But you get them on the field, all of a sudden they're monsters and they're savages for some reason. I don't know how that works, but man, I think it's obviously as good a group as we've had in the starting four. But I think what's actually more exciting is the depth behind them to be able to keep guys fresh and continuing to, pressure and get off the ball, disrupt things. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a really good group this year.
What responsibility do you feel? You talked about new defensive coordinator, a lot of young guys that are hungry. What sort of responsibility do you feel to make sure everything runs smoothly and have an impact on how the defense looks?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, man, is just be consistent with how I approach my work every single day. I've always tried to be a leader by example first and foremost. All the other extra rah-rah stuff, that's great and all for when it's needed, but I got to be the guy that the team relies on me to be every single day. I can't just show up one day and be Superman. The next day I'm over there, I'm just Clark Kent. You know what I'm saying? I got to be Superman every day. And that's just my expectation of myself for my teammates, for my team. And everything else just kind of falls into place from that. I'm not worried about doing somebody else's job. You know what I'm saying? I just do my job to the best of my ability, and I know everything else handles itself.
Are you curious about the kickoff and how it's going to play out starting on Saturday?
It is something that is a mystery right now. It'd be cool to see somebody go and return a kick for a touchdown on our side, on the other team's side. But I think based on how it went in the Hall of Fame game, it wasn't really much going on there. So we'll see. I don't know what will happen.
A rivalry with Brandon Ayuk, and since he hasn't been on the field, has there been a new focus of your attention?
Good question. Man, a new rival of mine. I wouldn't say so. I think there's nobody really coming to mind. I think, like I said, I've been pushing Elijah and JP a lot in the running back room because I know there's a lot in them. But it's just always a rivalry with the entire offense in my mind.
Is time coming?
Ricky, it's coming. Yeah. We got to keep him on that field. But yeah, it's coming.
That's for Brandon, and business is business. But is there a nervous energy in the locker room and anxiety maybe to want to get this done so you have a resolution one way or the other?
I mean, you want resolution for sure for him and the team. But at the end of the day, there's nothing. Nervous energy. There's none of that going on. It's business as usual. We understand the situation, and we'll let them kind of handle that from there. Yeah, you got it, guys.